Hey, what's up guys? What's going on? Welcome back to Kitchen Tonic. Welcome back to another quick, simple recipe here on the channel. So in this video here today, what we're going to be making is what Jamaicans call browning, or what we say in Guyana, burnt sugar. Now this browning or burnt sugar here is very essential, especially if making like your black cake or your Caribbean rum cake or whatever. You do need that brown color for your cake. So what we're going to be using in this video here are 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Very important that you use brown sugar, brown cane sugar, and not granulated sugar, because you need that brown color for your recipe or your procedure of what we're going to be doing here today. Now what I have here on my stove here is one of my non-stick pans, and I'm going to go ahead and begin placing my brown sugar here into my pot. Just like that, and I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, brown cane sugar here in this pot here. Well, let's just add about 2 tablespoons for now, because that looks like it's going to be more than enough for what I need to do here today. And you do want to make sure that you're kind of using a non-stick pan for this procedure here today, because what we're doing here can get very messy and you don't want to mess up any of your good pots or pans. But if that does happen, all you have to do is to heat up a little bit of water in the very pot that we're using here, in order to remove any of the sticky and stubborn sugar that's left behind in your pot. As you can see here, we're gonna go ahead and just heat this sugar up here until it becomes nice and brown, that nice brown caramelized color that we're looking for. And you're just gonna continue stirring here. Also worthy of mentioning, I also have another pot of water heating up on another part of my stove here, because we're going to be adding a little bit of water here to this pot here as well, in order to stretch this recipe here. You also want to be mindful of the time that you actually heat your sugar up here, because if you heat your sugar up a little too much, it's going to get that bitter taste, which you want to try to avoid, of course. And also worth mentioning, the longer you heat your sugar up here, the darker or the blacker or browner it's gonna become. So if you want that very dark or blacker color, you want to go ahead and continue heating your sugar up here. And like I mentioned, I am using a non-stick pan here for this procedure here today, even though it's going to take a little bit of scrubbing in order to get the sugar from the bottom of my pot here. So what we're doing, we're just caramelizing this sugar here. And like I said, the longer you keep it here on the fire, the blacker or the darker it's going to get. And it's also going to get a little bit bitter. So you want to be mindful of that when you're doing this recipe here. Alright guys, so like I also mentioned, I do have my hot water here heating up. You do want to try to use hot water in this procedure or this recipe here today, so that everything binds well. If you do happen to use cold water, it's just gonna reduce the temperature of your pot here, and it's gonna start splashing and all kinds of things that we want to try to avoid. So as you can see here, my sugar here is becoming nice and brown, that dark color that we need or we're looking for. And what I'm going to go ahead and do now, I'm going to go ahead and pour my hot water that I have heating up here into my pot. And we're going to pour this slowly. Alright guys, and that is basically it for this procedure here right now. What I'm going to go ahead and do now I'm going to go ahead and turn my stove off, and we're going to pour this into a container. And that is it, guys. We have our lovely browning. As you can see here, nothing has stick to the pot or anything like that. Let me pick my pot up here so you guys can see what's going on. Our lovely browning in this pot here, or burnt sugar, guys. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video here, for this procedure on how to make your own browning or your own burnt sugar. Alright guys, so with that being said, I want to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to join me another time, another day, for another brand new recipe, brand new video on Kitchen Tonic.